Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to create I'm calling it an envelope pop-up card, because basically the inside has got this section here that looks like an envelope once it's opened. So for this one, this is a 4x4 card, and I've folded the inside element like a mountain and a valley. But I'm going to make it in 5x5 and I'm going to fold it a slightly different way. For this one, as you can see, I've used basic black as the outside. I've put a piece of white on the front. This is a shape that's within my SDX 2200, and as are these. And then all the paper is from the Stampin' Up! Brights 6x6 paper pack. Now the cutting file is going to contain both sizes for you, so you don't have to worry about trying to resize it to make this mechanism here work. And I'll show you in a minute what you get in the file. So you're going to get the elements to make the 4x4, obviously not the Disney stuff, but you'll get the base card, etc., which I'll show you in a minute. And you're also going to get the same elements to make 5x5. So I'm just going to pop that one, and it will kind of sit up like that. So you have to press it down and fold it in, because obviously the bulk of your decoration is in this top half. So you just push it down and it will fold in. As I say, that one will fit in a 4x4 envelope and then it will sit. But you'll also get it in a 5x5. So what you get in your file is you get the base card shape that's pre-scored for you. I've already started doing a little bit of work on this to save some time. You get the shaped element, which you can use on the inside or on the front. You get the square section as a matting layer. Again, now on this one I cut both of these in paper. For this one I've cut them both in white card, and I've used one of our Stampin' Right markers in Early Espresso just to do some dots and dashes. So that's that. Then you get, if you can hear a noise, I've got the door open. It's a really hot day, and there's a train going through in the village. You get the element that makes the pop-up. Now, as I say, for this one, I did a mountain and a valley fold on those two, and that's how that will sit inside. For this one, I'm going to do mountain, mountain, so I'm making like a box. So when this one closes, part of it is going to pop out to the side, like so. Now this is 5x5, but obviously this is going to make this bigger. So for this one, if you do it this way, you're going to need a 6x6 envelope. So you'll get this, and then you'll get your matting layer. Okay. Now for this one, what I've done, I've cut the same shape as I did here in white, but then on my ScanNCut, I did an inward offset to create a pattern paper layer. Now I'll just take you over to the ScanNCut machine to show you how to do that. I've already saved both of these in my machine, but once you get it onto your machine, go to retrieve data. I've saved mine into the machine. I'm just going to jump to the last page. This one here's the 4x4, this one here's the 5x5. So I've got that on screen. I'm going to say OK. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to delete all the elements that I've already cut. So I'm just going to select each one and put it in the rubbish bin. And you're not deleting them. Once you've got it saved on your machine, you're not deleting it from your machine. You're just deleting it from this session. So I can delete that, and then I can delete that. So this is the piece that you get that is for the outside and for the inside. But as I say, I wanted to make a matting layer in the pattern paper. So with it selected, I went into Object, Edit, and on the SDX models, you should have this offset icon. It looks like the offset icon that we see in Canvas Workspace. So I'm going to select that, And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the minus button and I'm going to take it down until I get into a minus number. I think I used minus 0.07 and then I said OK. What you've got to remember with the auto blade models is it keeps both elements on your mat. Now I think you can do this in the CM model from memory, but it only inflates the shape that you had on the screen. So you'd have to cut your shape in white first, then leave it on your screen and do your offset. But on the auto blade machines, if you'll see, I've got two shapes. So if I go into the measurement shape, this one is 4.75 high and this one's 4.60, so that's the inward offset. And then the way I did this, I put the bigger one on the left of the mat and the smaller one on the right of the mat, and then I put a piece of white cardstock on this side of the mat and the pattern paper on this side of the mat, and I sent them both through and cut them at the same time. So that's just to show you how you can create, you know, more offsets from the file that I'm providing you. So come back to the desk. So for this particular card, I'm going to be using the Share a Milkshake stamp set from Stampin' Up. It says, life is sweeter with you, you're the cherry on top, celebrate, be my Valentine. And then it's photopolymer, 16 images within the set. And then you've got all the main images and the bits that layer up on top, which you'll see in a minute when I show you. The paper, as I say, I'm using is Sweet Sorbet from the 2022 to 2024 6x6 designer series paper in colour pack. It's got hearts on this side and it's got the kind of little pen strokes on the other side. So I'm using those. So that's going to layer up on there to go on the front. So I think I'll do that for now. I'm not going to put the dash lines around this one. So without getting my head in the camera, I'm going to try and line this up. So that's going to sit on the front of my card, and I'm going to add a little bit of decoration. But for now, let's concentrate on the inside. So because some of the colours that I'm using, I'll tell you some of the colours that I'm using, but they will all be listed with direct links to my Stampin' Up shop in the accompanying blog post here on my Apple Lover 53 website. So when you see this finished item, look for the photo and that will be the accompanying blog post. They're always listed in list form under the YouTube video as well, but over on my blog there's like photographs of all the items. So for instance, I've used Sweet Sorbet as one of the colours and it'll show you the Sweet Sorbet ink pad. So from memory, the colours I've used are Sweet Sorbet, Melon Mambo, Early Espresso, Coastal Cabana, I think that's Mint Macaron. And because I've used Early Espresso for some of the toppings, I've used my Early Espresso Stampin' Right markers. This is like the ink that's in the ink pad. And I've just done some dots and dashes all the way around the edge of both these inside pieces, and I'm going to do it on this piece in a minute. So for now, I'm going to stick this down. It's a really bright day here as well today, so, and I've not got my ring light with me, so I'm hoping that you're seeing the colours okay. So that's going to go on there. This is going to go on here. So I'm kind of showing you two different ways how you can use it. How you can use it one way with pattern papers on the inside, and then another way with just using, you know, plain white cardstock. So that's going to sit on there. So I'm just going to bring this piece in and do my dots and dashes. As I say, I've done most of it, you know, because I didn't think you'd want to sit here watching me draw dots and dashes on white card. One tip I will give you if you're doing this, I try to keep my pen upright because that way your dots look more like dots dots than smudges, you know, if you've got your pen at this angle. And don't be worrying about trying to get these all the same size or the same width apart. It doesn't matter. It will look just as good no matter what you do. Your lines don't have to be straight. They can be a bit wiggly if you want. See there, I had my pen on an angle and it's more like a, I'm not sure how well you'll see it, but it's more like a squiggle than a dot. So try and keep your pen upright. That's the only kind of tip I would give you. So that's going to glue onto here. I'm trying to make it so that it doesn't look so washed out on the screen. So that layer's on there. So like I say, in the basic file you get both these elements. You get the card element, the layering shapes. This one, as I say, can also be used on the front, but you saw how I added an extra layer directly on my ScanNCut with this one. So I'm not going to put that on for a minute because I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I've got some elements which I'm just keeping over to one side so that I don't get muddled up. Okay, I'm not sure how far I'd got then, but we've just had a power cut in our village, so I only noticed that the screen had frozen. But like I say, I've got those two in. I've got my layer and the bits and pieces that are going to go on the front just on one side for now, and now I'm just going to work on this. So to do, as I say, this one, I did mountain valley on both sides and stuck it in like so. For this one I'm going to do mountain mountain and make it more like a box. Okay, so the way to do this, to stick it in when you're doing it this way, is put it face down, fold the first flap in on the left and fold the two flaps in on the right. And what you want to do is put glue on these two inner panels. So glue on this one, glue on this, not on this. You're just folding it in just to make it go in here. So I'm going to use, well, I was going to use Seal Plus, but sometimes our Seal Plus can be quite aggressive and it can rip up the card. So I'm going to use Tombow. So glue on the first left panel and glue on the first right panel, although you've got two panels folded in. And what you want to do now is line this up so this edge lines up with the edge of the card, and then the bottom here you want to line up with your matting layer. So I'll try and bring this in. So you want the first edge to be lined up with the edge of your card, and then line that up with the bottom of your white layer. And if you do that, it won't go anywhere near the fold and it will make this go together better. Then now I'm just going to flip it over and I'm just going to rub it from this side. And that's how this card is going to go in an envelope. So although this card is 5 by 5, if you fold it this way, and the reason I'm showing you this way is because it gives you more room to pop things in. So if you were making this with flowers, you'd have lots of space, which I'll show you in a minute, to add extra elements. But by doing it this way, it makes it 5 3/4. So you'll need a 6 by 6, or you'll need an envelope for a 6 by 6 card. Okay, so now can you see that stands up, stands out of the card, and it will stand at, flat, but this comes away more than doing it this way. So it's entirely up to you. You can do it either way, but this one, as I say, will fold all that way. It doesn't matter. But it's probably easier to fold it the way that you stuck it in, and then it will fold over like so. So now it's a case of decorating, adding your bits and pieces. So I've got all my elements pre-stamped, and I'm just going to try and work out what I'm going to use where. See if I've got a spare cherry to go on there. And then I just find a pair of scissors. This one is going to go like so. This one I think can have some straws. Again, I've got a cherry for that one. And then I thought I would have these on the front section like so. Got some little cherry bits. As I say, this I think would look nice if you did it with flowers, because you could put some flowers here, either cut from designer series paper or stamped, and then here you could add more flowers and layer them up. So you could stick some flat, stick some on foam pads. Obviously you've got to remember that when you fold this over, all the bulk of your elements are in this half of your card. So I'm thinking something kind of like that for the inside. And then if you saw my video the other week where I was saying about pre-cutting shapes, this is one of the shapes that I'd pre-cut that I keep in my little scrap box. I've done the same with the early espresso marking, and for this one I'm thinking I'm going to do this on the front, add a couple of straws, and again I've got a little cherry like so, and then I've just got a couple of stray bits here that I could use, but I think I'll leave it at that for now and I'll use those in another card. So that's kind of going to go on the front, I think. And then the greeting I'm going to stamp here. So let me just slide all those off for now, and I'll have a play about with them. Then I'll bring in my mat. I've got my sweet sorbet, which will tie in with the cardstock, and You're the Cherry on top is the greeting. So I'm just going to ink that up in sweet sorbet. I'll put it near the top of the card and then this space to write the greeting. And then what I'll do, I'll just glue all the elements in and then I'll come back and I'll show you. So I'll probably speed this bit up. Okay, so you will have probably seen me use a combination of glue and 3D foam. So as I say, this will stand up and then it will all fold down and fold flat, and I've put that on the front. But like I say, if you were doing this with flowers, you've got a lot more room. You could use acetate with bits of flowers on and have some movement. I've just, chose to use the Share a Milkshake sweet for this particular one. So now I'm going to add some of the basic rhinestones, and I'm just using my Take Your Pick tool. And again, like I say, everything will be linked in the accompanying blog post over on my website, which you can see here on screen. And then just put a couple on the inside, I think, like that. So let's just get everything out of the way. So that's the card. So as I say, it looks like an envelope at the top when it's open, and then fold it down and that will all go into an envelope. I would say for a 6x6 card will give you enough room. And that's, the option of folding it mountain on the sides. And this is the one I did with the 4x4 version, which is also in the cutting file. And I used shapes from within my ScanNCut machine. And then on this one, I folded Mountain Valley. So it doesn't come out, let me just stand it up, it doesn't come out as far as this one. I'm not sure how well you're going to see it. I'll try and get them side by side, but you're not really going to see. This one, as I say, stands out a lot more than this one, just by the way you fold it. This one, when it's closed, will fit exactly, is exactly 4x4, so there's nothing hanging out of that one. This one, as I say, if you fold it this way, you're just going to have that bit. But you could fold this the same as I've done this and not have as much depth. It depends what you want to use it for. I just wanted to show you the two options. So like I say, in your cutting file you'll get both options, the 4x4 and the 5x5. Just be mindful when you're putting things here that when you fold it down you don't want to extend anything beyond the bottom of your card. I mean, they're all right, that little one and that tiny bit there is okay sticking out because it's sticking out still within the area of the 5x5, but you don't want anything hanging out too high because it will end up overlapping the edge of your card. But again, if you're going to put it, if you're going to fold it like this and use a 6x6 envelope, then I suppose you could, extend out a little bit. But anyway, they're today's projects. I'll try and get some better photographs of them for you for the blog post. Sorry about the power cut in the middle of the video. Hopefully when I edit this I'll be able to work it so that you hopefully might not see that, but if at some point in the video it freezes and then I come back, you'll just know that it's because we had a power cut. Anyway, please give the video a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.